Hey, what's up, and welcome to Hack My Growth. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about why big data actually sucks and how to use the data that matters most to get the results that really mean something to your business. All right, let's go. Hey, if this is your first time watching, or maybe you've been watching a while and haven't yet hit subscribe, please do. We would love to have you join our community. So, over the last 15 years or so, the term big data has been extremely important. It's actually probably been more like 20, 25 years. As companies have generated more and more data points, they've been storing those data points, and now they're trying to figure out what to do with all that data. Now, what has really happened as a result of this is we're drowning in data. We have so much data that we really don't know what to do with all of it. And the reality is most of the data we have is duplicated or it's incorrect data. But we still are obsessed with big data because we can use data to do some really cool things like, teach machines how to use that data to identify trends and spit out awesome numbers and help us really do our jobs better. That's what machine learning and AI is all about. It's about feeding machines data, giving them a script to work off of, then they can use that script that they're learning in order to give us smarter answers. But what happens for most businesses is we start to store all of this data, but we don't really know what to do with it, and we just start trying to pull data points out, and really it's not helping us make smarter decisions. It's just helping us put data next to why we did what we did and kind of validate ourselves, even if it's not validating the right answers. So if you watch the intro, I said big data sucks. And the reality is most times it does. Big data is very hard to work with, and this whole business intelligence stream, business analytics stream of a business, it can get very, very confusing. So how do we use data effectively? That's the real question. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So you've maybe heard something before called a KPI. Now, a KPI stands for Key Performance Indicators. Now, the reality is most businesses, when they look at performance metrics and that sort of thing, they don't really define KPIs. What they typically do is they go into their database and they just start pulling out metrics. And when you do that, it's very dangerous because there's so much to choose from. You can get analysis paralysis, or you can just start putting stuff on there that really aren't key performance indicators. Now, the key to KPIs is this letter here, K, key. Key means goal-oriented or attached to the business goal. So anything that is attached to the overall business goal of that business unit, the business itself, those are going to be metrics you want to track. And those are metrics that are going to be key. Now, when you're doing this, you only want 5 to 7, maximum 7. Honestly, I would really push more towards the 5 number because that's going to allow you to keep your goals more focused. We talk a lot about in marketing and sales about SMART goals, but you can't have a SMART goal if you don't have a benchmark. And so what these key performance indicators are going to help you do is at least get that benchmark, allow you to start working towards what you want to see, and then you can benchmark against that, and then you can actually create SMART goals. Now, some tips for creating KPIs. They need to be attached to the goal. So if your goal is more revenue, the KPIs need to be attached to revenue. If your goal is more visibility, the KPIs need to be attached to visibility. If your goal is better production, then your KPIs need to be attached to the production process. As you can see, that they need to be attached sequentially, as well as they just need to be attached to your main goal, right? Sometimes we can't find the right words. So when you're defining your KPIs, you want to look for those things that matter the most. So if you're a marketing agency and your main KPI is lead generation, you want to make sure that all of your KPIs are attached to lead generation. So one of those things that may be factoring leads may be sessions. So you may want to track like marketing, are you generating the right amount of sessions from the right amount of marketing channels? So organic, direct, social, offline events. Another thing you might want to track are actually contacts, leads, contacts, people coming into your site, who's giving you information. Then we also might want to look at the quality of those leads. So are these leads staying at a low level, maybe just subscriber or lead level, or are they moving towards the funnel of becoming a marketing qualified lead and a sales qualified lead? So those are some of the things that you want to start with. So one of the things that Stephen Covey talks about is beginning with the end in mind. You want to kind of think of this like a race, where you've got a finish line, and the finish line is your goal. And before you ever go into your database to start trying to pull out numbers, you want to understand what you want to do. Again, it's attaching back to this KPI. Once you have the goal, now you actually want to reverse engineer the process to get to the data points that actually matter most. Most of the time, you're going to be digging into your database and you're going to be looking for numbers that look cool, trends that look cool. But if they don't attach to your goals, they're just vanity metrics. They really don't have a purpose. The point is you want to actually find those tiny bits of data that are going to allow you to make the most impact. Sessions may not be the biggest thing that you're tracking as a business, but if sessions play a big role in lead generation, which plays a big role in revenue generation, and that's a key performance indicator, and that's a goal that you're trying to achieve, now it becomes a little bit more important, and you want to pull that out. So not every piece of data that you've been tracking matters. You can have this huge ocean of data that matters. A lot of times people talk about the iceberg, right? And you see the top of it, and then underneath, you've got all this under here. The reality is most of this data under here, under the water, maybe this much of it's worth it over here. The rest of it's just junk most of the time. It's either, like I said before, it's duplicate data, it's improperly processed data, it's data that just really doesn't matter much to the goals. The real goal in getting something out of your data is diving down into the water and chipping off this chunk that actually matters, bringing it up to the surface, and attaching that to your key performance indicators, which is going to allow you to actually reach your goals. So I hope you got some important insights today. Dig into your data, but find the points of data that matter. Big data on its own, it sucks. It's really complicated. There's a lot going on. And if you don't really have an idea of how to extract all that data or really cleanse that data or make that data more qualified, you can get really overwhelmed and bogged down in the numbers, and then you're stuck. But if you can allow yourself to go beneath the surface, find those little bits of data that actually matter, that are tied to your goals and your KPIs, you're going to be able to make a big difference in your business and make sure that you're hitting your goals. If you got any questions, please comment below. We would love to contact you and talk a little bit more about this. I love this subject. I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to the big data. So we would love to continue just to build that relationship here. If you got any questions, please comment below. We'd love to continue the conversation. Until next time, happy marketing.